my cupcakes, and welcome back to my channel. It's been so long. I've missed you all so very much. Before we get started on this video, make sure you guys are following me on all of my other social media handles. I'll leave it right here for you guys. So today we are reviewing another new foundation. I love discovering new foundations. It's literally a problem. I am such a hoarder. So while I was browsing through Sephora, what's new, I saw that Bobbi Brown had launched a brand new foundation, and this is their Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation, and I have it in this shade Warm Sand 2.5. This is a 16-hour wear buildable medium to full coverage foundation with a natural multi-dimensional matte finish that's comfortable, breathable, and weightless. So this foundation also claims to be tested in extreme heat and humidity, which makes this foundation waterproof, sweat and humidity resistant. This foundation comes in 30 different shades, and it claims to be a matte/natural finish. It also says it's good for normal, combination, and oily skin, so I don't suppose this is good for dry skin, which I'm kind of worried about because I'm kind of going through this dry skin crisis right now. Now that all the claims are out there, let's jump right into the review. So this is how the box looks like. I always like to show you guys how it comes first. I'm gonna open it up. So it comes in a nice acrylic bottle. I always prefer the acrylic, the cloudy ones, because it doesn't leave a fingerprint. Same thing with the cap. It doesn't leave any fingerprint marks, which is also another great option. It also has a pump, which is another plus for me. And just like your typical foundations, it has 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliters. I am super excited to try this foundation, so I'm gonna bring you guys in closer so we can get to the application part. I know you guys like seeing me this up close. Alright, like always, I have my Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer on. This is the only primer that I'm wearing right now because I went pretty heavy on my moisturizer. Like I said, my skin is going through some really dry, patchy, and almost scaly. It's kind of getting better now, but my skin was like super scaly around this area because it was just so dry. So I did put a generous amount of moisturizer on, so I think it's pretty good right now. I don't really get too oily, but I still do see some oil peeking through around my T-zones, so we'll see how this wears. I'm really excited. It claims to be 16 hours, so I'll try and wear it as long as I can today. Like always, I'm going to apply half of my face using a brush, and I'm using the Morphe E6 brush like always. You guys are probably so tired, but this is what I like. For the other side of my face, I'm going to be using the good old Beauty Blender. This is the actual Beauty Blender. Alright, I'm going to shake it up. See how this pumps out. I'm hoping that the color works. Usually like Warm Sand works pretty well for me. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good shade. It seems pretty thick. It's not too liquidy, which makes me feel like it could be a potential full coverage foundation. This was a pump and a half. Let's see how it goes on. Oh, this smells good. It has like a fragrant smell, but not like too extreme. I'm gonna go and apply with the brush first. Can you guys even tell that I'm wearing foundation? Where did this foundation go? This is definitely not even a medium coverage in my opinion. It just seems like sheer to light coverage almost. It's starting to settle in, I guess, but I can still feel a little bit of tackiness, which is a good thing because it does claim to be a second skin foundation. Alright, before we move on to the Beauty Blender side, let me just try and see if this is buildable. This is another half pump. I'd say it's about at a medium coverage now, but still not full coverage. You can still see some of my acne scars peeking through. I'm kind of worried because I do have some dry patches around right there, and it's not accentuating yet, but it's slightly clinging onto it, and I can kind of already tell. Like, it looks good on my skin, but I'm just not like amazed yet, you know? Like, I'm not like, whoa, this is amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the other half of my face using the Beauty Blender. I honestly think it applied better with the Beauty Blender, but obviously the coverage seems to be, I think it's the same. Whether you apply it with the Beauty Blender or with the brush, coverage seems like it's about the same amount. I'm gonna go ahead and see if this side is buildable using the Beauty Blender. It does smell good, I'll say that. It smells citrusy. So it was buildable. I definitely do prefer the Beauty Blender with this foundation because I think it's settling down a lot nicer. It looks nice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks nice. Just the coverage isn't like a good full coverage foundation, which could be good for you guys that don't prefer like a flawless full coverage foundation. Another thing is it's slightly clinging onto my dry patches. I did have a huge dry patch on my nose right there and is definitely clinging onto that. It does feel pretty nice on my skin. I think the brush side is starting to just settle down now. I honestly don't think it'll settle down all the way to where it just completely mattifies the whole skin. So it does have that natural / matte finish, which I totally agree with. I actually really like it. So I don't think I'll be applying any more. I'm just gonna leave it like this. I applied about 2 layers on each side. It is currently 1:02, so we'll call it 1 o'clock. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. It is currently 1:39, 1:40. I took a while to finish my makeup, but it's actually because I was watching Friends while I was putting on the rest of my makeup and I got really distracted. So real quickly, what's on the rest of my face? I actually received this brand new palette by Morphe. It's their 24G palette and look how huge they made the eyeshadows. It's like double the size. I heard it's like 2.2 times bigger than the regular size eyeshadows in the palette. So I was playing around with some of these shades. Nothing too special. I just played around with their neutral shades. Pigmentation, it's still just like all of their other eyeshadows. It's really great. I'll leave a coupon code down here for you guys if you guys are interested. My eyeliner is the Tarte Sex Kitten eyeliner. It's the one with the felt tip. I absolutely love this. It's really long wearing and comfortable to wear and super, super black. My mascara is actually a newly discovered product that I've been really, really loving. It's the Stretch Lash Effect Mascara by Touch in Sol. I think this is their travel size mascara. I'm not sure if this is a full size or not, but I couldn't find it on Sephora's website because I wanted to order the full size if there was one, but it's actually not even on Sephora, so I'll try and find this and link it down below. But basically, it's amazing at giving my lashes length. I don't usually get this much length with just regular mascaras. Maybe with waterproof mascaras because it'll help curl and lift my lashes a lot with the volume, but this pretty much has everything and I've been really, really loving this mascara. On my lips is the YSL Vinyl Cream in 407. I still use this. I absolutely love it. It feels amazing. It feels very vinyl and creamy, but it's like it's pretty much staining your lips and it's a really good everyday color to wear. Like always, everything will be listed down below along with the links, so go ahead and check that out. Going back to the foundation, it still feels really great. I actually did use a powder, the one that I always use, which is the Too Faced Primed and Poreless powder. I use this to very gently and lightly set the rest of my makeup using this really fluffy brush by Morphe, and it actually helped settle down pretty well. Like I don't really feel anything transferring on my face, so that's always really good. It doesn't feel too heavy on my skin, but again, I just don't prefer layering foundations on top of each other, so it's not too bad at this moment. I think the color also matches me pretty damn well. It's a little bit lighter than what I usually like it to be. So I'm actually hoping that over time it'll just kind of magically start to match the rest of my body, but it's really not bad like at all. I think it matches pretty well. It's just like a tad bit lighter. I did make my skin look extra dewy because I noticed that this was kind of mattifying as I was applying the rest of my makeup, so I wanted it to still look glowy and dewy, but the foundation itself is still staying put, like a very natural matte finish. But yeah, as for the dry patches that was forming right there, it actually looks a lot better than how it was before. I'm actually surprised. I'm not sure what made it do that, but it looks a lot better and I'm actually really happy with it. If the foundation stays like this the entire day, I'd be really happy with it, and that this foundation would be a turnaround. Alright, so I actually have some errands to run, and then I have dinner planned with a friend later on today, but I will see you guys at the midday check-in. Alright guys, it is currently 5:30. I'm in my car right now. I'm about to meet my friend for dinner. I thought that I would have more natural light by this time, but unfortunately I don't. The sun is pretty much gone and it's already dark outside. It's been about 4.5 hours since I first wore this foundation, and I have to say I just looked closely at the mirror. I actually really like how I look right now. I'm gonna try and get closer so you guys can see it underneath the light. The dry patches that was here, it was mainly like right here and then right on the center of my nose. It's gone. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's gone, and I'm like pretty surprised actually, because I didn't think that it would go away. I thought it would I actually thought it was gonna get worse, but it didn't, and I'm really surprised. I'm happy with it. The foundation feels great. I am definitely not oily. You guys can tell, you don't really see the shine coming back. I think because I've hydrated my skin enough, it's kind of holding up really nicely. It hasn't creased anywhere, which I'm actually really surprised at, because from the feel of it, like the initial feeling of the application, I thought that it was gonna just look pretty bad towards the, like, as the day goes on, but I'm actually really liking this foundation. I'm surprised myself as well. I think you guys will be able to see it a lot better when I get back home and do my final checkup underneath the lights that I was showing you guys with, so that you can compare directly. But yeah, I mean, 4.5 hours later, so far so good. It's actually looking even better than before, so I'm really excited to see how well this held up throughout the rest of the day, and I'll check back with you guys towards the end of the day. Alright guys, it's time for my final checkup. It is currently, where's my phone? It is currently 10:22 at night. I've officially wore this foundation for 10 hours and 22 minutes. Without further ado, let's go ahead and take a closer look. Okay, so obviously the first thing that I noticed immediately is my oil and how much I've oiled up. I mean, really? Isn't this supposed to be for like oily skin? I mean, I want to say it's not too bad, but I haven't seen my face this oily in a very long time, so it looks pretty oily to me. I usually don't get too oily. That's just my skin. I have like combination skin, so I usually just oil up around the T-zone and a little bit here, which is clearly what's happening right now. Mind you, I did not touch up throughout the entire day. I usually don't touch up like ever. My forehead still looks good. It didn't like crease anywhere specifically. Same thing with my cheeks. It still looks pretty okay, except for this area where I'm like pretty darn oily, and I usually never get this oily around this area, so that's pretty surprising. So while I was eating, I did eat something kind of spicy, so I sweated a little bit over here. So I am noticing that it rubbed off just a little bit here. My chin, it looks okay. It's starting to separate right there. That usually always happens as well, but I do have foundations that prevent this. Honestly, I think the foundation stayed true to its color. I don't think it oxidized, like not to a amount where it's noticeable. Even with the layering, since I applied 2 layers on each side, I didn't really mind the foundation. It didn't really feel like I was wearing too much foundation, so it was pretty comfortable to wear. Transfer proof wise, I feel like you do have to set it in order to feel a little more secure. So as I mentioned during the midday check-in, this area was my concerned area where it was kind of accentuating the dry patch that I had, but throughout the time, like during the 3-hour mark, I'd say, it just kind of disappeared. I'm guessing that's when my natural oil started to peek through. So right at the 4-hour wear mark, it started to kind of oil up. I wasn't really paying attention to my face or my foundation because I was busy talking to my friend. But as soon as I got back in my car and looked at the mirror, I started to notice that the oil was just very noticeable. I mean, overall, it was comfortable to wear. I don't think I can say that I love this foundation just yet. I'm gonna have to try this foundation out with a different primer, maybe something that helps control the oil around this area. So I think I would recommend this for like an everyday wear, maybe not for like a formal event or some other event where you want to look absolutely flawless. I would probably recommend another foundation that could perform better for that occasion. I think, yeah, this foundation would be a great foundation to wear for, I don't know, for your work, if you had a regular like 9 to 5 job, if you're just heading out to meet your friends. I'd say for now it is Christina approved, just because besides the oil, like everything else still looks great, and I liked how it wore and I liked how it looked. Alright, so that's all for my video today. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and comment down below what you guys would like to see next. And I will see you guys in my next video.